Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Paul, the Canadian Snowman, here once again with some more Caesar. Uh, this is part three. We left off, what was it? Aerovistus? There was a little chess match going on with Caesar and Aerovistus, and surprise, surprise, Caesar came out on top. It was very interesting. It's like they both wanted the fight, and Caesar was just, he was just more prepared and like I think there's just going to be a theme throughout everything. Just the tactics and technology and smarts are just a lot higher up there, and I'm sure we're going to see that throughout this entire series. Uh, so I'm sure, excuse me, I'm sure I'm going to say it again. But now we're on to Caesar versus Belgae. Battle of Axona and Sabis, 57 BC. Continue on the Gallic Wars. Um, I'm not sure. I think there's gonna be like another kind of like another like warlord, another like I don't know leader from another Gallic tribe or whatnot. Trying to I don't know make a stand and try and make himself known or something. I don't know. I really don't know. But all I do know, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a fun video, and yeah, it's cool. We got. It seems like we're getting like a new enemy. Every video, it's like a new enemy stepping forward to kind of take on Caesar. I mean, yes, you guys ready to get into it? Drink of choice today is chocolate milk. Drink of champions, guys. Chocolate milk. Oh yeah, before I push play, I'm gonna say there's probably not gonna be any videos tomorrow. Just a heads up. Got some plans tomorrow, probably, and so I'm sorry. I mean, I'm a single dad, so basically my life is work, tend to hang out with my kids, and then videos. And so if something comes up, videos get put on the back burner. Unfortunately, that's kind of just how it is for you guys. So I apologize about that, but that's just life. so so if I don't make any videos tomorrow, I hope you guys have an amazing day and all that good stuff. But anyways, let's jump into this video. Please hit like and subscribe if you haven't yet, guys. And I am really looking forward to it. Kings and Generals. Remember, guys, this is a new channel we're watching from. Kings and Generals, pretty awesome stuff. Check them out. All right.
By the spring of 57 BC, Caesar had successfully dealt with the Helvetii and Suebi threat. The Gallic tribes in the area had either been vassalized or their lands were occupied by the Roman legions. However, in the north of Gaul, a group of tribes was forming an alliance to oppose the Romans. These were the Belgae, and they would prove to be one of Caesar's fiercest enemies. This video is sponsored by ExpressVPN. This service provides the fastest speeds, being consistently faster than other VPN providers, and is very easy to use today.
Alright. Here we go.
The Belgae were a loose collection of various...
So I'm just pausing and just kind of like take notice of the map here. Obviously Caesar is basically taking land, like, he's still occupying this land. He is helping his allies and basically taking their land. And so, yeah, they're just like, Caesar's land. He's just, giving himself some more territory. He's taking over more territory. And then, obviously, I guess this is the force from the north up here. And it looks like we're going to have a battle right here in the middle. I know that they're probably going to say the exact thing, but I'm sorry.
The Belgae were a loose collection of various tribes, and had fought constant wars with the Germanic tribes across the Rhine, which had fostered a strong and experienced warrior culture. They knew of how successful Caesar had been in Gaul already, and were justifiably suspicious of his intentions. To counter the rising Roman threat, the Belgae formed a confederation, led by King Galba of the Suessiones. Labienus sent word of this coalition to Caesar in Cisalpine Gaul, who immediately took action. Caesar raised a further 2 legions and moved straight to the Belgae border. It is worth noting that Caesar now had 8 legions under his command, approximately 44,000 men including auxiliaries, double the amount he had initially been allocated by the Senate. Furthermore, while the Belgae raising an army could certainly be seen as a potential threat, Caesar made no efforts to get the casus bellus he had when fighting the Helvetii and Suebi. The Republic had less and less control over Caesar, and many in Rome were beginning to talk about these conquests not being in Rome's best interest, but in Caesar's.
Well, yeah.
Nevertheless, Caesar marched his legions quickly into the territory of the nearest Belgic tribe.
So right now, it's like, seems to me like Caesar doesn't care what the other, leaders in the Republic want. He's like, I got some momentum going. I'm building, my army is growing. What's the Republic going to do? It's like, I almost get the feeling that he wants the Republic, the other couple leaders to kind of stand up against him just for more, I guess, an excuse. Just like the last episode, he was looking for an excuse to fight him. I think he's trying to build up something to where those guys have an excuse to turn against him, and then he can, if he beats them, then it's all his. That's just kind of it seems like how it's going right here. He just going to build his army, build up himself, and then turn back around when the rest of the Republic tries to turn their back on him and go against him, and he's going to be ready to pounce, man. He's going to have the numbers, the men, everything. Yeah. So I think we're going to build up to a pretty epic, kind of like battle or something going on here down the line.
Caesar marched his legions quickly into the territory of the nearest Belgic tribe, the Remi, who were completely taken aback by the speed at which the Romans had been able to mobilize and surrendered instantly, swearing to Caesar that they had never been a part of the Confederation. The Remi even provided Caesar with all the information they had on the alliance, including which tribes were involved, how many men each tribe was contributing, and that they were currently marching towards the Remi's territory.
What? I was expecting to have some giant battle. The first tribe they come up on, I guess they weren't expecting, and they basically laid their swords down and gave up that easy. Wow. Not only that, Caesar has all the intel about all the rest of the tribes. Like, man, he couldn't ask for a better start right now. I wasn't expecting that. So, Caesar already has a leg up now. Like, with his previous aim with tactics and all that stuff, I think he already kind of had a leg up anyway. But now, it kind of gives him he just he had a little bit of lead. Now he's kind of way up there. So. I'm expecting some, I don't know what exactly I'm expecting, but Caesar's going to be ready for him. Wow, that was unexpected.
Contributing, and that they were currently marching towards the Remi's territory. With this information, Caesar convinced his Gallic allies, the Aedui, led now by Divitiacus, to invade the lands of the Belvaci, a powerful Belgae tribe, to open a second front, while he marched towards the Belgic Alliance's main army.
That's smart.
Caesar crossed a bridge over the Axona River and encamped in a strong position on a hill on the other side. The river provided protection from the rear, and marshy land at his front made a frontal assault difficult. Furthermore, Caesar had learned his lesson from fighting Ariovistus and left 6 cohorts in a well-fortified position on the other side of the bridge, securing his supply line. With no chance of being starved out from his position, Caesar waited for the Belgae to make their move.
That's cool.
Meanwhile, the Belgae had marched to the Remi town of Bibrax, just 8 miles from where Caesar was encamped, and besieged it. Caesar gives the total number of the Confederation as 300,000. However, it is unclear how much this number is exaggerated and how many of these men were currently in the army. A more realistic
Yeah, that's like just an important note, just in history in general. Everything, a lot of stuff just gets exaggerated in history just because of the fact that it's a better story. A lot of this stuff is, I'm not sure exactly how, you know, I'm, all this gets wrote down and people, read it, come back and read it. But obviously, it paints a better picture if you exaggerate the numbers, because usually history is written by the winning side. The winning side looks like the good guys. So Romans victories, they're going to write down the history of what happened. Whether it's exactly true or not, it's a different story. But they're going to exaggerate and make it look better than it is, and make themselves look better than they are. And I guess that's kind of one of those things to keep an open mind about. I guess any kind of history, the stuff is just going to be exaggerated. Like, seems like, is he way outnumbered right here? If I remember the numbers correctly, like at 40,000, there's like 300,000. I don't know, but it seems like a lot of history stuff. It's you know, the winning team goes against all these odds against them, but yet they come out on top when really the odds probably weren't that big. Kind of like I've only seen like one little mini documentary on this, the 300. I haven't even seen the movie, but like they exaggerate, like it was 300 men against I forget who was the ones going against. You guys know what I'm talking about, 300. But it wasn't just the 300. There was thousands more men behind them, So, but they exaggerate, and I think it was only whatever. There's nothing to do with this show. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make a point, which I forgot what my point was right now. So we're gonna.
and how many of these men were currently in the army. A more realistic estimation would be somewhere around 80,000 men, still a force to be reckoned with, almost double that of Caesar's. In the face of such a large force, the Remi sent messages to Caesar saying that they would be unable to hold the town without his help. Caesar, however, was reluctant to give up his defensive position, as he thought that the attack on Bibrax was a trap designed to force him to do that. Instead, he kept his legions in camp, but sent a substantial contingent of auxiliaries, composed mainly of Cretan archers and Balearic slingers, to sneak into Bibrax to help the Remi. With Bibrax thus reinforced, and Caesar not taking the bait, Galba instead marched his army to meet the Romans, encamping just 2 miles from the Roman camp.
Wow.
Caesar was reluctant to engage Galba straight away, and instead focused on cavalry skirmishes to test the strength of the Belgae. While this was going on, he further reinforced his position, digging long trenches and constructing defensive towers on the flanks of his position. Realizing that attacking such a
It's just so cool, like just the structures are being like this land has like there's nothing there, but he uses time wise. Instead of having his men just sit around doing nothing and waiting, he puts them to work, makes trenches, makes towers, like towers. I'm sure that enemies are not expecting these kind of things when they come up on them. So it's that's really cool.
Realizing that attacking such a strong position would be suicidal, Galba instead sent roughly 15 to 20,000 men to ford the river and attack the 6 cohorts on the other side, hoping either to draw Caesar from the hill or to cut off his supply line and starve him out. Seeing this, Caesar gathered all his light infantry and cavalry and marched quickly to oppose the crossing, leaving his legions in their defensive position. The Roman cavalry arrived just in time and fell upon the few Belgae who had made it to the other bank, killing many and forcing them back into the river. At the same time, the Roman missile troops peppered the Belgae still in the water with stones, javelins, and arrows. They doggedly tried to continue their crossing despite taking heavy casualties, but Galba had no choice but to pull his men back.
Wow.
To make matters worse, word had now reached him that the Aedui were rampaging through the Belgae lands. With the Romans to his front so heavily dug in, and with another army now threatening his flank, Galba decided to withdraw. The tribes would all disperse to their respective homelands, but all agreed to reassemble if the Romans marched further into Belgae lands.
Okay.
As the Confederation's army dispersed, Caesar cautiously pursued with his cavalry and 3 legions under Labienus, harassing the Belgae. Due to their lack of coordination, the Belgae suffered heavy casualties in this retreat. The battle had cost the Confederation approximately 10,000 men and had forced the tribes to divide, making them easier for Caesar to conquer.
Oh yeah, of course.
Many tribes simply surrendered in the face of the Roman legions, including the Belgae and Galba's Suessiones. However, deeper in Belgae territory, the Nervii did have the time to organize and were not going to give up so easily. They were outraged by Caesar's foray into Belgae territory, and alongside their neighbours, the Virumandui, Atrebates, and Aduatuci, were able to gather an army of approximately 50,000 men, led by the Nervii king, Bodugnatus.
Okay.
Caesar, hearing that this force was gathering against him, marched for the river Sabis on the edge of Nervii territory. Bodugnatus had learned the lesson from Galba and knew that he could not allow the Romans the chance to fortify their position, and so he positioned his men in ambush on a hill on the other side of the river. He also had his troops construct hedge-like obstructions, which were placed on the other side of the river to disrupt the Roman formations and cavalry.
Okay.
Caesar marched his army in 2 groups. His veteran 6 legions, who marched in the front, were the first to reach the river and began constructing a camp on the hill with the river in front, while the 2 newer legions marched behind with the baggage train. Caesar sent his cavalry and light infantry across the river, which was only 3 feet deep, in order to scout the opposite bank. They were met by some Nervii cavalry, and a brief skirmish broke out. However, the Belgae cavalry fell back, drawing in the Romans until the entire Nervii force broke cover and fell upon them. The Roman cavalry and light infantry broke and ran back across the river to the Roman camp, the Nervii army in hot pursuit. Thus started the Battle of the Sabis River.
Alright. Belgae got the first, little mini victory there, but I think now like the cards have been shown, and I think Caesar's gonna be like strategic, like, what's my next move?
The Belgae moved from the woods and across the river so fast that the legions had almost no time to prepare.
Oh, wow.
However, their experience and discipline kicked in. Rallying to the nearest cohort and legionary standards, they were able to put together a coherent battle line. But as the legionary engineers did not have time to clear the campsite as they usually would, the legions were divided by the hedge-like obstructions laid down by Bodugnatus, which prevented them from forming a cohesive formation. As a result, the legions were almost fighting 3 separate battles. The 10th and the 9th on the left against the Atrebati, the 11th and 8th in the centre against the Virumandui, and the 12th and 7th on the right against the largest group, the Nervii, with 2 remaining legions still with the baggage train yet to join the battle. The fighting was brutal, with Caesar himself going from group to group, encouraging his men. Eventually, the Roman left was able to push their enemy back enough to hurl their javelins into their ranks and charge.
Oh, nice!
They were able to force the Atrebati back across the river, even making it into the Belgae camp.
Jeez.
The Roman centre was also finding success, pushing the Virumandui down to the banks of the river.
One more.
However, the Roman right was having a hard time. With the centre pushing forwards, the Nervii poured into the gap, almost surrounding the 12th and 7th legions and falling upon the auxiliaries who had retreated to the camp. The remaining auxiliaries, including most of the Roman cavalry who had been marching in front of the baggage train, saw this and fled, assuming the Roman right had been completely destroyed and the battle lost. They were not without reason. The 12 had lost their standard, their chief centurion, most of the other centurions, and the Romans were beginning to break.
Got some backups coming.
Seeing this disaster, Caesar knew he would have to do something or risk losing the whole campaign. Snatching up a shield, he pushed himself to the front line of the legion, bolstering the morale of the men. With the 7th Legion under heavy pressure as well, Caesar ordered them to form a defensive square with the 12th and hold their ground.
Here we go, here's backup.
At this point, the battle began to swing in the Romans' favour. Labienus, in charge of the 10th and 9th Legions, saw what was happening from the other side of the river and sent the 10th to relieve the Roman right, while the remaining two legions had finally joined the battle and were attacking the Nervii in the Roman camp. The Roman auxiliary cavalry...
Man, look at this. These guys are going to be crushed. There's no way. There's just no way these guys are escaping. They're going to be crushed. Look at this. They got more back up here, more back up here. Look at these guys. Still got these guys back up here. And Caesar was on the front lines there, rallying his men. I mean, I think, when it comes to battles and war, I think that definitely goes a long way for morale. Like, when you see, like, your leader, the one you believe in, going forward, like, damn, we're in a better situation than we are, and just fight forward, man, I think that goes a long way. So, let's see what happens.
Were attacking the Nervii in the Roman camp. The Roman auxiliary cavalry also returned to the battle, seeing this change in fortune, and now it was the Nervii who faced disaster. The Virimandui had fled upon seeing the Roman reinforcements, and the Nervii were now surrounded. They fought bravely, and even Caesar commended them later, but their defeat was now inevitable.
Yep, exactly.
The Belgae casualties were devastating, Caesar saying that just 500 survived the battle.
Wow.
The Roman losses had also been high, with perhaps as many as 5,000 Romans dead. Without Caesar's personal leadership and the timely interventions of the legions, it is likely that the battle would have been lost, Caesar killed, and the campaign ended. But the battle was over, and Caesar was once again victorious. The Nervii surrendered, becoming a vassal of Rome, and the Atrebati were conquered soon after. Rome was now in control of most of Gaul.
Wow.
New videos on Caesar's campaign in Gaul will be released soon, so make sure you are subscribed to our channel and have pressed the bell button. We would like...
Wow, there's a couple of close calls on that though, man. But Caesar got the troops rallied together, and I'm really liking this because it's trying to showing like bit by bit, kind of. It's like it's not even his empire yet. It's still a republic, but bit by bit the gain of land, and I think it's really neat to see. And then like, sure, the next episode is going to be. And probably another tribe jumping up to try and stop. I don't know, where are we at now? We're right here. Caesar. Britannia. Germania. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Awesome. Looking forward to that one. Well, like I said, I'm going to be in videos tomorrow. I'm sorry. But definitely awesome video right here, guys, right? Come on. Hit the like and subscribe. You agree? Come on. Yes, awesome stuff again. Caesar. Obviously, this is like a long series, so obviously he's not going to die right now. We know what a big name Caesar is, so it's not like it's going to be some big surprise he wins, right? We know he's going to win. It's just the style he does, and just kind of watching the formations and the battles and how he does it. That's the kind of the cool and interesting part, to see how he does it, and especially under in different kind of circumstances, under pressure and stuff like that. So that's kind of really neat to see. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Hope you guys liked this video, and we'll see you guys in the next one. I'm actually really liking this series. So, I mean, I kind of already knew I would, but I wasn't sure how it was going to play out, and I'm actually really liking how it's playing out. So, very happy about that. But anyways, please hit like and subscribe, like I said, and I will definitely catch you guys in future videos. Thank you for watching.